And I see Alex, we're born to compete.
What's going on,
The
man?
hottest online website in the world for youth athletics.
Yeah, man, we're here today, man, to recognize the community leaders, man.
Okay.
They're doing some great thing in sports with these kids right here. They're using sports just as a venue, and that's it. And they've made such a positive impact with these kids here in Georgia that it's second to none.
Okay.
You hear so many, things as far as people using sports to, I guess, live their own dream, being adults and live their own dream through these kids.
Through these kids, right.
Yeah, but these guys and this woman here as well, they don't do that. They don't do it.
Right.
They go above and beyond. Kind of like you. First, we have CJ with the USTA Foundation.
Here she is. CJ, what's happening?
Hey, CJ.
Long time no see.
It has been a while. Well, actually, I am the Director of Community Outreach and Programs for the Atlanta Youth Tennis and Education Foundation. We're under the umbrella of USTA Atlanta, which is USTA stands for United States Tennis Association. And just very proud to really change lives. That's what we're about. We actually have an opportunity to share tennis instruction, have fun with the kids, implement an educational curriculum with the kids as well. We're reducing childhood obesity. We're doing all of those things that make a difference in a child's life.
All right. Well, congratulations on that.
All right. Next, we have Scott Byers from South Paulding. I can't begin to explain what this man has done with wrestling. All over Georgia and everywhere in America, they have like certain trainers, right?
Right.
But what Scott does is he's taking kids that didn't have the training, right?
Right.
But he's turned them into the best program in Georgia.
It's a passion. There's I believe over 180 teams in the state of Georgia now, and I believe in USA Standards or USA Wrestling, who is our umbrella company. Our association, we're in the top 5. Georgia's in the top 5 in the nation now in growth for USA Wrestling.
Very good.
And it is just it's a very difficult sport. It's a very disciplined sport, and I don't hesitate to tell any parent that comes out that I feel it's probably one of the hardest because it just is so grueling on your body. But the discipline it teaches children and the effort it takes to stay with it is just beyond what they imagine. But beyond that, it's getting the community involved so much.
Yeah.
We average 100 to 140 kids a year, and you involve the parents. I have over 20 coaches that help in each divisions, and it's just so much that's involved in it that you get to see a kid grow in such an individualized sport.
Yeah.
Whereas they can get lost in the team aspect.
Yeah.
But an individualized sport is such that any success at all is success in their mind, in their heart, in the growth of them as an individual.
All right.
And so it's really enjoyable.
Well, congratulations and thank you.
Yeah, and now the next person you know well, you've known him for a while. You just talked about him and his youth baseball team, the Georgia Raiders. Won state championship a couple years ago. Won the U.S. Was a U-Trip World Series championships. And what makes Jerry so special is what he's done with baseball. A lot of kids and a lot of teams with the travel baseball, they just focus on baseball, and that's it. But what he does is college trips, kind of like how you do with your trip with your kids. He does college trips. He takes these kids to the Braves games, and he tries to make it a family. And so that the things that he does not only teaches them, what to do on the field, they're very good, true indeed, but what we'll recognize him today is for what he does off the field with these kids.
All right, Jerry Clark, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only.
And it's not, when people hear about it, when they relate me to specifically just baseball, and it's not just baseball, it's life. And when I see the numbers, the dropout rates among African-American males, and I see the incarceration rates, it's appalling, and it's sad. And 10-year-olds getting tattoos and different things like that. We have to reverse these trends.
This guy sends a message as we're sitting here talking about his nephew that was living with the sister, single mom. And he said, he was having such a tough time at the home, so he and his wife decided to take him in. And he said, I'm having such a hard time trying to get him focused. and I don't know what to do to get him focused. And it takes programs like this, and program what Frank does is to get our kids at a young age. He was like, in 2 years he'll be 18 years old if I could just get you and Frank to just talk to him. So sometimes it takes other people to step in. I mean, you always talk about how you like to get involved with helping, single moms, because it's hard. It's so hard. So man, I commend y'all for doing such a good job with these young kids.
And Wanda, when we were in the green room, we was talking, all of us collectively, is how we have to wear many hats. And Frank, you know that we're not just a coach.
Absolutely.
A lot of times we have to go to schools and speak to the teachers or
all
the
the
principals.
time.
We was just talking about that.
All the time.
But it's a powerful thing to be seen in that light, and the fact that a parent trusts you enough to say, and they know that you have that type of influence on their child.
Absolutely.
That you can be called and say, go to their class, and I need you to talk to them, because it's not about competition. It's not even at that point about academics. It's just about life.
Yeah.
And just encouraging them.
Let the kids know somebody care about them. Who else you got? We got somebody on the phone. I don't even know who's holding.
Yeah? Is he on right now?
Yeah. Frank and Wanda, hello.
Frank and Wanda, first of all, I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you.
I know that voice.
What's up, man?
My dream to play in the Frank Ski Bowl. That's my dream, to win a trophy for Frank Ski.
All right. Well, you got to bring it. You've been.
Love this man.
Deion Sanders, you've been dogging us.
My favorite football player of all times. You showed him how to get it, baby.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
How you doing, man? I'm so elated. I mean, everything I'm doing here in Texas, I'm getting ready to duplicate in Atlanta. We have tryouts May the 20th and 21st in Atlanta for the Truth. I'm bringing Truth to Atlanta. Jamal Lewis, Keon Carpenter, and Mel Brandt. They're heading up my whole
Melvin Bratton, yay! That's our boy, Miami, baby.
Yeah, Alex is going to do the doggone thing as well, and we just going to bring everything that we do. Arthur Blank is helping me formulate this organization to take it bigger into better lengths. We're going to have Truth North and South. So we're going to service pretty much the whole city.
Wow, nice.
We're doing what we do. And consequently, we're going to do a charter school there in another year or two, just like we're doing in Dallas. We have Prime U Prep Academy opening this fall in Dallas, grades K through 12.
What is it called?
So we're really trying Prime U Prep Academy. We're going to prime you for life, baby. That's what we do.
I like
So,
that.
Alex, he getting an award too?
Yeah, Deion's getting the award. See, what Deion doesn't know, when we went on that trip with him up to the Hall of Fame, Frank, man, you had to see it. You're looking at 7 busloads of people. And see, Deion, he doesn't talk about it that much. I don't know why, but he should, because what he does is something so great. He had 7 busloads of people, of kids that he took up to the Hall of Fame. Let them play different games as far as, competition as far as against Kentucky, Louisville, all kinds of different games like that. And they were able to stay on college campuses, so now they're getting used to staying on college campuses, eating in the dorms, eating in the caf, all that kind of stuff. And then, not only did he do that trip, but now he opened up the charter school up in Texas.
Wow, Deion, that's incredible, man. You are to be commended for that.
That's huge.
That is huge, brother.
We're trying to do it. I mean, we partner with the Department of Agriculture. We feed over 100,000 kids a day. We're going to duplicate everything. With the Texas Workforce Commission, we hire over 100 kids in the summer months, from ages 17 to 22, and we're going to duplicate that process as well as in Atlanta as well. So we just want to bring everything that we're doing there, because this is where it started for me, man. You guys gave me the genesis of my career, and it was all gravy, and I love every minute of it. So I'm forever in debt to the city of Atlanta.
All right. Wow, you got the heavy hitters, man.
Yeah,
congratulations.
We got one more person, man.
Okay.
We got one more person. This guy here, I don't think he's understood his impact on the community. Probably a couple of years ago before he started a tournament, a youth football tournament, and they try to bring in the top 4 teams and let them play. And sounds familiar. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I got a chance to know him personally. We won't go into that little story there, but got a chance to know him personally. And the one thing what he instilled in me is everybody saw the glitz and glamour of the Youth Bowl. Everybody saw that. But what they didn't see is how parents all of a sudden had to get involved with your child.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they saw how communities had to get involved. They had to be at the games. They had to cheer on your teams. You got to come up with all kind of crazy chants or everything like that. But at the end of the day, the focus was actually on the kids the entire time. But nobody got it.
Wow.
Nobody could understand it. Yeah, he's giving away money, true indeed, and that helps with certain parts. But guess what? For all those teams that are in contention that don't get it, man, it was an amazing ride.
Yeah. You know who,
it was an amazing.
Alice, can I cut you off for a minute?
Yeah,
Do you know who I groomed myself and my foundation after?
Who's that?
I believe this person you're speaking about.
Who's that?
I saw how they expose kids from the Galapagos Islands to Italy to so many different things, and we always talk about this exposure.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I sat back and watched this person do, and I said I have to follow in those footsteps if I am going to do a foundation that's going to be done right.
Wow, that's special, man.
And one thing he told me, we had a phone conversation last year, and it was having a tough time trying to get everything going. But what he said is that if your vision is right and your heart is pure, people will see that. People will see what you do. So just keep pressing forward, and eventually you'll become successful at what you do, because it can't help but to be successful. So that's my man there, Frank Ski.
Oh, man. Thank you, man.
Nice.
Thank you. That's special. I appreciate the most being amongst all these other recipients. That's a big deal. I can say that, it's been a long journey, 10 years for the... Can't believe it's been 10 years.
I know, very long time.
This year we got some news that was rather... Man, it was incredible for us. Last year at the foundation fundraising wine event, Norman Hayes, who was our student of the year from Tucker High School, was accepted into Harvard. The same year, Kamara Carter, who went to the Amazon with us, was accepted to Harvard. The same year, this year, 1 year later, our student of the year, Philip Mousset, who also went on the trip to the Amazon, was accepted into Harvard. We got 3 kids into Harvard University, full scholarship in 1 year.
Wow.
So yeah, so we we're proud about that.
You should be.
We're proud about that. And all the kids that have ever gone on our trips, have ever been part of our organization, all of them are in college. And
very nice.
Yeah, all over the country and the world.
What a blessing.
Yeah, we got 2 of them, studying abroad in Europe and Spain. So I mean, it's a good thing. So I appreciate being in this Hall of Fame ring right here. And you guys do a great job. And I think we've all been connected for a while.
Yes, we have.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. And Dion, if Texas stops ducking Atlanta, we'd be all right.
I can tell you what, I'm feeling the dynasty, and I'm going to win a trophy at every level. All the way from the babies all the way up. And I said that, Frank. I said it, Frank.
Okay, I can't wait. All right, well, gentlemen, congratulations to you all. Thank you all for coming in here, and Alex, we appreciate you. I mean, really, the award should be going to you this morning. For you to just take the sacrifice and be out there and videotaping these kids and showing these highlights, and I see the kids talking on there, and I see my own sons going on YouTube and seeing the highlights and wanting to know how a game was. I mean, that's a special thing for a 10-year-old to be able to see a highlight of another 10-year-old team to see how they're doing it, and you're doing a great job. So congratulations.
Frank, if I could, I would like to congratulate Alex, because wrestling has been so difficult to get out there. It's the sport itself is, even though we have one of the largest teams around, I still have parents from the school just down the road that goes, I didn't know youth wrestling existed. And we've been around 20 years, 25 years. And what Alex has done so far to help get us exposure is, just like you just said, kids can go on and look at other kids. Well, now they're able to go on and watch wrestling matches of their buddies. And they have some aspirations for it, and they can see different things. And I'd just like to say that sitting with you guys listening is very intimidating. I realize that even though I love everything I do, I realize there's so much more out there.
There is.
That I can do, and wrestling as a family, because everybody always talks about in wrestling that we may compete on the mat and we may bang heads on the mat, but when we walk off the mat, we're all trying to help each other.
Amen, brother.
And it's so great. I've enjoyed hearing you guys this morning, and it inspires me to push further.
All right, well, congratulations. And all the parents, one thing I want parents to know is every one of the sports we talked about, from tennis to baseball and even the wrestling. And I didn't know till my kids started wrestling last year. They wrestle for Love It. You know, they start them young, 4 and 5 years old. They already out there wrestling. I'm like, what them little boys doing? They're like little tights, but that's a cool thing. So thank y'all for coming on the Frank and Wanda Morning Show to share,
Thanks for having us.
and we appreciate it. It's the Frank and Wanda Morning Show, 924.